In the early 2000s, Olympique Lyonnais were a force to be reckoned with, not only in France, but in Europe. A team consisting of talents such as Karim Benzema, Michael Essien, Florent Malouda, Juninho, Gregory Coupé and Sidney Govou led Les Gunners to 7 straight league titles, a Coupe de France, 6 Trophée des Champions and a Champions League semi-final, a competition in which they were regulars in. Famed for their incredible academy, Lyon during this period were one of the most valuable football clubs in the world, boasting the 12th highest annual revenue in the world during the 2007-08 season. Fast forward to 2024, however, and after a flirt with relegation in the previous season, Les Gunners have been handed a provisional relegation to Ligue 2 at the end of the 24-25 season, along with a transfer ban following the reveal of huge unpaid debts by the club. What has gone wrong at Olympique Lyonnais? Olympique Lyonnais were originally formed in 1896 under the multi-sports club Racing Club de Lyon, now known as Lyon Olympique Universitaire, but were overshadowed in football by their city rivals FC Lyon. As time went on, tensions inside the club grew, which led to then-manager Félix Louhou contemplating forming their own club. Louhou got his wish, and in 1950, Olympique Lyonnais were officially formed. In only their second ever season, Lyon were promoted to the top flight, where they would remain for the next 30 years. The 60s and 70s saw decent success from Lyon. Whilst they never won a league title and yo-yoed through the first tier, they won 3 Coupe de France titles, a runner-up another 3 times, and won a Trophée des Champions. However, in 1983, their years of yo-yoing caught up with Lyon, and they were relegated down to the second division where they would spend the rest of the 80s. Whilst it was a bleak time, one person came in who would change their fortunes forever. In 1987, local boy done good Jean-Michel Aulas took over the club and outlined his vision to establish Lyon in Ligue 1 and take them to the top. Following promotion back to the top tier in 1989, Lyon used the 90s to establish themselves before taking France by storm in the 2000s. They won 7 straight league titles, an era of dominance which Ligue 1 had never seen, becoming regulars in the Champions League with a glorious squad of homegrown talent and superstars, reaching the Champions League semi-final in 2010. How could this go wrong? Whilst Jean-Michel Aulas delivered Lyon their most successful era, he might also be the architect of their own downfall. Lyon were always heavy spenders, but constant European football and a productive academy churning out some of the world's best youngsters would always offset this. That was a business model, and in terms of player trading, they had always seen a huge net profit each season. Recruitment over his last few years though became poor, while still turning profits during the windows, and barring some examples like Lucas Paquetá and Bruno Guimaraes, players signed for big fees failed and left for a loss, seeing a steep decline in their registered assets. This can be seen over the last 4 seasons, with the club going from a £72 million profit on players in the 21-22 season to a £109 million loss in this current transfer window. Now 2020, like for all of us, was a very weird year for Lyon. They managed to reach the Champions League semi-final for just the second time in their history. I remember watching the quarter-final game against Man City and thinking, wow, Lyon are back! But sadly, that was just a plaster over the cracks. Because of the outbreak of COVID-19, the Ligue 1 season got cancelled with 10 games left to play, deciding the final table on a points per game ratio. This saw Lyon finish 7th and miss out on European football for the first time in 24 years. Matchday revenue is the most important revenue to every club on the planet. So with the loss of match-going fans due to COVID-19 during this period, every club was hurt financially, including Lyon. And alongside failure to qualify for European football, Lyon were losing loads of money. And towards the end of 2020, things got even worse for Lyon and Ligue 1 in general, when their record-breaking broadcasting deal with Media Pro, worth £3.75 billion over 4 seasons, fell through. The second biggest broadcast deal in Europe, the collapse of this deal plunged Ligue 1 into a financial meltdown, with 19 out of the 20 clubs in the division being put up for sale overnight, and eventually a much lower deal with Canal Plus was finally agreed. But clubs were stung bad, Lyon of which saw losses of £109 million during this year. Since then, it has become a common theme for Lyon to hemorrhage cash, with Lyon losing €55 million in 2022, €98 million in 2023 and €25 million in 2024. Following a few years of slow decline and mounting debts due to huge losses, Jean-Michel Aulas took the decision to sell his shares in OL Group, the holding company which he founded and fully owns Lyon. In June 2022, Aulas found his buyer in John Textor via his company Eagle Football Holdings, which also owns shares in Botafogo, Crystal Palace and RWD Molenbeek. Aulas remained on board as a CEO, but resigned in 2023, putting an end to a 37-year relationship between Aulas and Lyon. Debts have only risen, however, since the takeover, mounting up to €505 million in their recent statement, a €50 million increase from the previous year, largely due to the majority of their debt being refinanced last year, alongside expensive spending sprees in the 2024 windows. The DNCG, French football's financial watchdog, have been keeping a close eye on Lyon's spending and finances over the past year, and had even advised against Lyon's summer spending spree due to the financial health of the club and the lack of funds. Textor, however, didn't listen, and the DNCG punished Lyon heavily for their major mismanagement. As things currently stand, Lyon find themselves back in Ligue 2 if they do not pay off a significant amount of debt before the end of the season, rumoured to be around €100 million. Despite the panic from the fans, Textor is fully confident about sorting the situation, and Lyon are not short of sellable assets who can make way in January, such as Fofana, Orban, Cherki, Kakare and Tesman, who are all young, valuable players who have plenty of demand in the next window. This is not an ideal situation, but Lyon do have the means to get out of it, and if Textor can actually commit to his promises, then Lyon will be fine. I'd also just love to say a big thank you for the support on my recent video where I went to Stockholm to document the Hammarby vs Malmö rivalry. There were some really interesting discussions in the comment section, not only about the fixture but about the Allsvenskan and football in general, and I would just love to say a big thank you. It done so much better than I thought it would do, so please remember to leave a like on this video, please comment, love a little discussion, and yeah.